YouTube. I'm Yes or No, and today I am in a bad mood. That's kind of appropriate because today we are talking about toxic positivity. So I want to start this discussion out with a story. It's a story about my last month of high school. Now, to give you some context, I was a 4.0 student. I had just gotten into Harvard. I should have been over the moon excited, but instead I was incredibly stressed. Alright, don't get me wrong, I was still excited about, my future, Harvard, woo! But I was also incredibly stressed because I still had an entire semester left of school. I was in this science class that was absolutely breaking every part of my soul, and there was no time for me to just relax in between school, sports, and homework. And it was getting to a point where I was right on the edge. My track coach, he could see that on my face, right? So one day he pulled me off to the side and he gave me a little pep talk. He was like, Taylor, sometimes you just can't let them see you sweat. You just can't let them see you sweat. And I remember in that moment, hearing those words, how livid I became. Because all I wanted was for somebody to hear me, to understand me, to recognize that this load I had on my shoulders was too much. And instead, what I was being told to do was to suck it up and put on a happy face. And lo and behold, I did let them see me sweat. Can't stop me from sweating. What do you think you are, deodorant? But anyway, I tell that story because I think it exemplifies just how much America upholds this idea of toxic positivity, right? Like even when you're not doing well, you still have to act well. And it's so interesting because I made a video about this 7 years ago. I made a video called, "Is the American Smile Fake?" In that video, I was like, well, just watch the video. I'll tell you right here. But I personally don't believe that that's what the American smile is trying to communicate. It's not trying to say, hey, we're friends for life. It's more a way of saying, let's be friends for now. We're both two people stuck in this world who happen to be in the same space at one time, so I'm gonna try and make this space a little more pleasant for you by smiling. Oh, look at me, my little cute little genuine fetus self. Oh, so stupid, so naive. No, but I think what my little, fetus self didn't quite understand about the fakeness of the American smile is that sometimes smiles aren't always pleasant. Sometimes smiles, and is often the case with American smiles, sometimes smiles when somebody else is sad can feel grossly invalidating. Or sometimes a smile, when it comes with the societal expectation of you need to smile or else you are considered a social pariah and ostracized from everybody for being like a negative Nelson. If that's the case, if it's like smile or else, then a smile can feel like a straitjacket. It can feel suffocating, as is often the case in America. And it's one of those things you kind of gotta live it to know it. You gotta experience it to feel it. But you also gotta leave it to see it. And that's what happened with me. How I really started seeing this was, first I moved to Germany, so I was made aware that other people thought there was something strange with this American positivity. But then, and this is where things really changed for me, I eventually made my way back to France. Whereas Americans basically ward off complaining like it's the plague, the French eat it up like it's breakfast cereal. Complaining is really like a national pastime in France. And it's awesome. You are allowed to vent so much here. Everybody's walking around like they're professional air conditioners. You know what I'm saying? Vent, 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 vent. I love it. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking yes or no. You're generalizing. You're stereotyping. Yes. Yes, but also no. So these themes run so deep that they're not just in the blood of the citizens who believe them, but they're running through the veins of Mickey D's. What do I mean? Well, basically, let's go to America's favorite slogan, right? I'm talking McDonald's. I'm talking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. But I am not ba-da-ba-ba-ba loving that traffic. Why I think this is important is because, I went to the internet when I was researching this topic and I'm like, you know what? I bet you the McDonald's slogan is even different for America and France in this regard, right? Because I don't know if you guys remember, but like in the early 2000s, America used to have this slogan, McDonald's did, that went, "Everybody come on, put a smile on." Wow, I got the words right, but I got the pitch very, very wrong. And so they had that, and then they also had like, "We love to see you smile." That is crazy, right? Because that is the literal embodiment of this toxic positivity that we're talking about, right? McDonald's, basically one of the symbols of America, is telling its customers to smile. Put a smile on. Now it's ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. And do you want to give a good old Big Mac Filet-O-Fish guess as to what the French slogan is? Because it's not ba-da-ba-ba-ba, I'm loving it. In France, the McDonald's slogan is "Venez comme vous êtes." That means come as you are. If you don't think that is funny, then I don't know how to save your soul. Because that is amazing. In France, you literally cannot tell people to put a smile on. You literally cannot tell them that they're loving something. You cannot tell them what they are feeling. Period. And that mindset, that mentality, that changed my life. It was really only when I came to France and realized that my complaining was encouraged, it was held, it was listened to. It was only when that happened that I realized there's nothing wrong with my feelings. There's literally nothing wrong with feeling bad. And that's crazy to me because in America, I used to think there was something broken with me if I couldn't be happy. Right? Like, why can't you just be happy? Why can't you just, everybody else around you is smiling. What's wrong with you? And then it's like, wait a second, no, I'm not the problem here. My emotions are not the problem here. My emotions are telling me there's something wrong. But that's not a problem. That's a gift. That's a compass. The real problem is when you have a societal culture that takes a magnet to that compass and starts it spinning and says, which way is your compass pointing? Which way is your compass pointing? It should be pointing north. That's the real problem. I mean, really what that is just America gaslighting people through toxic positivity on a national level. You know, I know this is a generalization. I know not everybody does it, but enough people do it that when you go there, you feel it. And I'm not saying any culture is perfect, right? But sometimes it does take leaving and going to another culture in order to see what is wrong with yours. Whether that means leaving the country or leaving a group of friends, you know? You know, if you're really lucky, you can merge the two cultures together and create something even better. This is kind of exactly what I've done with the toxic positivity discussion, right? I no longer live by a put a smile on philosophy, and now I'm more a venez comme vous êtes and you'll be ba-da-da-da-da, so loving it type of gal. But hey, to each their own. Anyway, thank you for listening to me on today of all days, a day where I have been not feeling so hot, and I will catch you on the flip side, McNugget. Peace.